Imagine an environment where every instinct in your brain is screaming at you to run for your life, but your job demands you stand absolutely still. Welcome to a special explainer report from the Human Error News Network. Today we're diving deep into the visceral, paralyzing fear of catastrophic human error inside one of the most high-stakes, unforgiving environments on planet Earth.
Seriously, how do you survive a 30-ton silent killer? I want you to picture this. You're standing literal inches away from a deafening, completely invisible 30,000-kilogram fighter jet. It is pitch black. You're balancing on a slippery steel floor suspended 20 meters above churning, freezing ocean waters. One tiny lapse in judgment, one miscommunication, and you are gone. Look, if you want to master high-stakes decision-making and build systems in your own life that are entirely bulletproof, hit that subscribe button right now because we are unpacking the ultimate survival guide today.
So step with me into the boots of a crew member on the flight deck of the USS Abraham Lincoln. It's a massive 332-meter floating city where the concept of a routine day at the office simply doesn't exist. Now, we've all been in work environments where the fatigue sets in, the pressure mounts, and, mistakes happen. We get it. But here, a mistake doesn't mean a lost client. It means a catastrophic loss of life. In my deep dive into these naval aviation case studies, I want to show you exactly how these crews manage incredibly complex systems under bone-rattling exhaustion.
Which brings us to Section 1, the rainbow of survival and visual communication over chaos. Because you really have to ask yourself, how do you perfectly communicate when a jet engine makes verbal coordination completely impossible? Subconsciously, your brain probably assumes, okay, I'll just yell louder, or I'll use a radio. But out there, the noise is so physical, it renders all traditional communication totally useless. It vibrates in your chest. So they solve this with an incredibly rigid visual language, basically overriding the chaos with color. On one hand, you've got the yellow shirts. These are the aircraft handling officers and directors, basically the conductors of this highly explosive orchestra. Then you have the green shirts. They handle the massive physical mechanisms, making sure the catapult shuttles and arresting wires are perfectly set. Two completely different life-or-death responsibilities, visually separated so there is absolutely zero ambiguity.
And that visual failsafe, it extends to the rest of the deck too. It's like a rainbow roster. Purple handles the highly volatile aviation fuels. Red is for ordnance and the crash crews. Honestly, the absolute last people you ever want to see sprinting towards you. Brown represents the plane captains who technically own the aircraft's maintenance. White is your safety and landing signal officers. And blue handles the heavy lifting of plane pushing. Take a second right now and just visualize. Which color jersey best represents your current role in your own company? Are you the visionary yellow shirt directing the traffic? Or maybe the white shirt ensuring absolute quality control? Let's move to Section 2, Anatomy of a Trap, and maintaining precision under pressure.
Let's shift gears a bit and look at how these roles actually collaborate in real time. In naval aviation, a trap is an arrested landing. It's the ultimate display of precision under pressure. And here's how that highly structured system works. First, the pilot approaches and calls the ball. That's military jargon for the optical landing system. They call it the meatball, which visually guides their glide slope. Second, the white shirt landing signal officer instantly responds, Roger ball, confirming that approach. Third, the aircraft literally slams onto the deck, going from 120 miles per hour to 0 in just 3 seconds as the tailhook catches the arresting wire. Fourth, the deck is rapidly cleared for the next jet. It is a violent, perfectly synchronized ballet.
But hey, what happens when that primary system completely fails? That's what they call a bolter. A bolter happens when an aircraft's tailhook touches down on the deck but just completely misses the arresting wire. Because they land at full throttle, just in case this exact scenario happens, the jet is forced to immediately take off again and re-enter the landing pattern. It's an incredible failsafe built right into the standard operating procedure.
Now let's look at Section 3, when the deck goes dark, the ultimate stress test. Because really, what happens to all these meticulously crafted systems when the sun goes down?
While the entire environment transforms. Let me spike the stakes for you here. 250 kilometers per hour. That is the speed of the invisible jet blast coming off an F-35C or an F-A-18. In the dark, these 30,000-kilogram jets are taxiing without headlights. The extreme noise makes them silent to your ears because everything is just a roar. Propeller blades become invisible, spinning hazards. Literally one wrong step into that 250-kilometer-per-hour exhaust stream, and a sailor can be blown right off the 20-meter sheer drop of the deck, straight down into the massive churning ship propellers.
And this isn't just a theoretical hazard. Aviation bosun's mate Josh Clark put it perfectly. He said, as soon as the sun goes down, And in an already very unforgiving environment, it gets even more unforgiving. Think about it. You have 5,000 sailors working 12-hour shifts. The exhaustion is deep. It's physical and it's mental. Combine that profound exhaustion with the blinding hazards of the night, and you have the ultimate recipe for catastrophic human error.
To make matters incredibly intense, the USS Abraham Lincoln actually initiates a darkened ship protocol during night missions. The flight deck operates in pitch-black conditions to remain entirely invisible to enemy sensors. Pilots have to rely on infrared systems, and the sailors on deck, they rely purely on muscle memory and these tiny little chem lights to navigate. Inside the ship, they even transition the hallways to red lighting. Why? To completely preserve their night vision, so the exact moment they step out onto that blacked-out deck, their eyes are already adjusted.
All right, moving into Section 4, mastering pitch-black chaos and eliminating human error entirely.
So, how do you empower your team to eliminate human error when they literally can't even see their own hands? It really comes down to extreme situational awareness and how rigorously they prepare. You have these young sailors, often referred to as the greenies, who are out there executing incredibly high-pressure catapult launches. But their day doesn't magically end when the shift is over. Observers often note these crews sitting in the hallways at 11:30 at night, just totally exhausted, but rigorously studying for their advanced placement tests. The culture dictates that to survive the dark deck, your operational knowledge has to be flawless.
The entire flight deck operates on a profound, yet super simple mandate found right there in their manuals. Watch out for yourself, watch out for others. It is the ultimate failsafe, and it's physically built into their binary deck system. The arresting gear officer absolutely will not switch the deck status light from red to green, which means a clear deck, unless every single parameter is visually and mechanically verified. If there is even a tiny hint of a fault, the deck is foul, and incoming jets are waved off immediately. So I want you to audit your own business's night operations right now. Where exactly does your company go blind? And what specific binary fail-safes do you have in place to protect your team when things go pitch black?
Finally, Section 5, the future of flight and how the carrier is evolving.
Because as incredibly reliable as these human-driven systems are today, the technology is about to take an absolute leap forward. Currently, launching a jet requires immense, terrifying physical power. Crews are working inches away from steel shuttles that snap across the deck at lethal speeds, powered by 480-degree Fahrenheit steam lines. They manually attach these heavy 50-pound holdback bars that literally keep the jet bolted in place until the exact moment of maximum tension. It is raw, it's industrial, and it's inherently dangerous.
But the supercarriers of tomorrow, they're transitioning completely away from that traditional steam. They're moving to advanced magnetic launch systems that provide way smoother acceleration, and they're equipping ships with 100-megawatt high-energy lasers capable of disabling incoming threats in total eerie silence. This has been a special explainer report from the Human Aero News Network, which leaves us with a massive question to think about. As we replace 480-degree steam with invisible magnetic fields and lasers, will the inevitable march of technology eventually remove the human element from the deck entirely? Or are we just going to invent completely new, catastrophic ways to fail?